Sega
Yes,
is
sir.
back,
Yes,
baby.
sir. Yes, sir.
So yesterday, June 5th, we got to see Summer Games Fest. And usually with Summer Games Fest, it's usually just a pretty decent showing of games that are coming out. But Jeff made some calls this year. Jeff definitely made some calls this year, and it was overall a really good show from beginning to end. I was expecting the beginning to have some really cool showings, and then I want to say about 30 minutes into it, it was going to take like a pretty deep dive. But throughout the show, I was really intrigued. Now, with me being a Sega fan, yes, I was really looking forward to the Sega announcements, and I'm really happy to say that Sega definitely delivered. There's one fan base that would say otherwise, but we'll definitely go ahead and talk about it. So the first announcement that Sega had was Alien Isolation 2. I'll be real, I've never played the first one. I am a big chicken when it comes to horror games and horror movies and stuff like that. Like my favorite horror movie is It. Like that's not a really scary movie compared to a lot of other movies that I have seen and I have heard of. I have seen Alien and Aliens, but I haven't seen any outside of that. Probably won't. But yeah, Alien Isolation, it looks like, it's staying faithful to what the first one was, has a pretty big fan base as well. So, happy for that fan base there. Now, the second announcement that we did get was Stranger Than Heaven. This announcement was a bit controversial. This game still looks really good. It is a prequel to the Yakuza series, set in the same area, and it's about the formation of the Yakuza. We've seen this game before, but the biggest thing that they wanted to announce was really weird. And I'll be real with you, it it completely shocked me when I saw Tupac just show up out of nowhere. I played the Yakuza games before, so I know how weird they can be and how weird they are. The biggest thing is having Tupac just show up out of nowhere was completely out of left field, and I can definitely tell that no one saw this coming. Now, on one hand, this does work because it gets people to talk about the game, of course. It's making its rounds on Twitter, on social media, just seeing Tupac just show up out of the shadows. You have a lot of people who might not have been interested before, might become interested just because that was so out of left field. Now, on the opposite side of that, you do have some people who I have talked to who have stated that they might not buy the game because they don't think that that's respectful to have a Tupac in the game. And I get that. Some people who grew up with his music, some people who really have a connection to who he was, I completely understand that. But for me personally, I'm absolutely going to buy this. It made me want to buy the game even more because it was so goofy. But, to each his own. That was Stranger Than Heaven. It definitely is Stranger Than Heaven.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But all I got to say is, next we got my favorite announcement from Sega. Virtua Fighter Crossroads. This game just looks incredible and I'm super excited to play this. The trailer that we got was centered around a new character, Celio, I believe that's how you say his name. And the trailer that we got really focused on the open world aspect and the story mode that Sega is going to be introducing with Virtua Fighter 6. And because it's RGG Studios, you can definitely see the Yakuza DNA within the gameplay. Now, the trailer itself was just only the narrative side. If you wanted to see more about the gameplay, you would need to watch the showcase that they had later in the day. And that showed more about the gameplay within the open world, but it also went more deeper into the story itself. We learned a little bit more about Celio. He's in the city Vilaspara. I have to practice saying that, so I'm proud of myself. The city itself looks really vibrant. It looks like a city that's in the Yakuza game. So there's like little shops on the side. It seems like there's side quests that you can do. It really seems like they put a story mode in this game so that a lot of the casual players can have something to do when they're not playing the versus battle. And speaking of the versus battle, they did show a little bit more of that as well. And it was more of the leaked footage that we saw a couple weeks ago. So I definitely figured that was going to be it. But it's seeing it in HD, seeing it in 4K looks incredible. The animations look superb. A lot of the animations are actually from Virtua Fighter 5, so that goes to show just as well the animation is in Virtua Fighter 5. I also love in the trailer when Celio was walking past a wall of graffiti art of the legacy characters, so Akira, Jackie, Paichan, and Wolf, and basically he's having this really cool moment with them. I just love that they have that respect for the characters. But overall, really good trailer. Loved it. Now we get to the fun part. Sonic's 35th anniversary, according to some people on Twitter, is the worst anniversary of the franchise. And this is most likely coming from people who were born after 2005, who were not around for the release of Sonic 06. And for those who don't know, that was the 15th anniversary of Sonic. But for Sonic, we got a trailer of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. This trailer showed a lot of other collaborations that Sega is doing. And they're actually pretty cool. They're branching out into anime, into different properties that we haven't seen before. They also announced that we're going to get a whole second year of DLC for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Now, we saw the remaining DLC that we're going to get for this year, Ninja Turtles, Avatar. But then for year two, it's going to start off with the new world with Godzilla and then Evangelion. Now, along with those announcements, we also did see that there's going to be a new Sonic indie game called Sonic Pico Park. I'm not too sure about what that's going to entail. It seems like it's going to be a 2D side-scroller game that you get to play with 3 of your friends. Seems pretty cool. I'll probably go ahead and check it out, but that's what we got for the 35th anniversary trailer. Some people were upset thinking that we would get a new Sonic game announcement, which I completely understand, but I do believe we'll get an announcement this year. I just think that it's going to happen at a Sonic Central. Now, what I wish they did do was make an announcement that a Sonic Central will be happening. We're still not for sure if we'll get one. I do believe we will have a Sonic Central this year, but that's what I wish they did for this trailer. But I'm not upset with this at all because Sega has stated that they want to focus on their other franchises that are not Sonic, that are not Yakuza, and that are not Persona. And that's what they're doing. And we're getting much more announcements than we've ever before. So I can't be mad at Sega for delivering on that. Now, when it comes to the anniversary, if we don't get anything for the rest of the year, no announcement for Sonic Central, nothing. Is it a bad anniversary? Sure. But only time will tell. We just gotta wait. I waited 21 years for a new Virtua Fighter game. I can wait a few months or even a few weeks for another Sonic announcement. But that's all the Sega announcements that we had for Summer Games Fest. As I stated before, I am trying to be more consistent with this channel, and I would appreciate if you would subscribe and like if you do like the content. If you want to see more of this, I will be talking about the Xbox Game Show as well because we definitely got some Sega news there. But let me know what y'all think about this. We all, baby.
対戦モードに関しては格闘ゲームファンの皆様がやっぱり安心していただけるようなやっぱモードはやっぱり用意していて、今回そのナラティブとかをすごく重要視はしてるんですけども、電源入れたらすぐに1対1が遊べるような、そういったモードも用意しています。
なんかバーチャルファイターって特殊で難しいゲームってなんか思われがちなのが今なんですけど、僕のやっぱり最初の印象って全然違くって、難しいコマンドとかはなくて、パンチとキックとガードっていう3つのボタンだけで遊べるシンプルな操作で楽しめるゲームだったんですよね。直感的な操作だけでも遊べるっていう部分は大事にしたいと思ってるので、そこを守りながら新しく今回ブラッシュアップするし、一から見直してるっていう感じになるかなと思います。
やっぱそのリアリティを追求したらどうなるかっていうところを最初に考えました。例えば今までのガードってもう本当にこういうガッっていうガードが、格闘技の達人が本当にこんなガードするのかみたいな、パンチの質によってこういう風にできると思うし、まずそういう表現をしたいっていうところから入って、どういうゲーム性になるかみたいなことをちょっと考えてました。
それは両立させなきゃいけないし、両立できるものだというふうに思ってます。
やっぱりどういうものが必要でどういうものが必要じゃないかみたいなのを考えながら間口を広げるようなシステムにはしたいと思っています。ただですね、その反面やっぱり奥深さというかやり込み要素っていうのはやっぱ絶対必要で、強くなるためには、主に3つの柱があると自分は思っていて、1つはテクニックですね。やっぱりコマンドの正確さであったりとか、それこそプレイヤー自身の反応速度で、もう1つは知識ですね。コンボの知識とかがやっぱり豊富だとダメージ効率を上げることができるので、それで相手より優位に立つことができる。でもう1つはやっぱ読みっていうところがあって、でこの技を出した後にはこの人こうするなみたいなのをすごく見抜くプレイヤーさんとかいたりとかして、その3つのバランスがなんかバーチャファイターってすごく優れてるなと思ってるんですね、自分は。そういった良さも、今回のクロスロードでは生かしたいというふうに思っています。
僕たちは新しい体験をプレイヤーの皆さんに与えなきゃいけないっていうことで、なんかお決まりのものではなくて新しいアイディアとか新しいトライとかに取り組んでるんですけど、本当に大変で、ようやくなんかこう皆さんにお見せできるような形になってきたかなっていうのが今の感じです。開発で順調だってことってなくて、新しいものを作るのってすごい大変なんですけど、ものすごくチームメンバーはいいものを皆さんに届けるんだっていう形でモチベーション高く取り組んでいると思いますね。
私にとっても本当にバーチャファイターっていうのはレジェンドタイトルですし、私も含め、デザイン全員開発スタッフ、一同、持てる知識と経験を、全て積み込んだ、作品にしていこうと思っています。
やっぱり新規のプレイヤーさんにも今までのバーチャファイターのプレイヤーさんにも楽しめるような、本当これが新しいバーチャファイターだって感じてもらえるような、そういったものを作っていきたいと思っています。
バーチャファイタークロスロードは、リメイクでも、ノスタルジーでもない完全に生まれ変わった新しいバーチャファイターです。シリーズを遊んだことがない人ももちろんですけども、シングルプレイだけしか遊ばないっていう人でも必ず新しい体験ができるようにゲームを作っている。ようやくゲームの全貌を皆さんにお見せすることができたかなと思いますので、期待してもらえればなと思います。